My wife's high school sweetheart returned to town as a millionaire. She immediately told me, I think we married too young. I agreeably signed the divorce papers. 6 months later, the ex was arrested for fraud, and she was calling me begging for help. My name is Daniel, 34, and for the longest time I believed love was a simple equation. Two people choosing each other every day. I didn't expect my entire marriage to twist into something unrecognizable overnight. I didn't expect to watch the woman I vowed to spend my life with drift into a stranger. And I definitely didn't expect that my silence, the quiet way I stepped aside, would become the very thing that trapped her later. It started on an ordinary Tuesday, ordinary enough that I should have sensed something was wrong from the sheer calm of it. There was a stillness in the house that didn't fit the rhythm of our life. My wife, Melissa, wasn't humming in the kitchen like usual, wasn't texting her sister about plans, wasn't pacing while watering the plants. No, she was sitting perfectly still at the edge of the couch, hands clasped too tight to be casual, eyes distant as if rehearsing something she didn't want to say. We'd been married 5 years. 5 years of building a home, sharing morning coffee, fighting about whose turn it was to take the trash out, making up in low whispers. We met in college, fell stupidly in love. Everyone said we looked like a couple from a catalog, her soft blonde waves and bright laugh, my steady, quieter energy balancing hers. But lately something in her eyes had been receding from me like a tide. I came home from work that day, loosened my tie and asked a normal question. Everything okay? She lifted her face, but her smile was wrong, tight at the edges, trembling in the middle. Dan, we need to talk. Those words never lead anywhere good. But the tone was the kind someone uses when they're about to admit something unforgivable. I sat down across from her, not next to her. Something told me to keep space. What's going on? She swallowed hard and her voice cracked. Someone's back in town. I stared. Her voice was too soft, too sentimental, too nostalgic. And then she confirmed my worst suspicion. Ethan, her high school boyfriend, the guy everyone thought she'd marry, the one she'd always insisted didn't matter anymore, whose name she flinched at when someone accidentally brought him up, the one she swore taught her what not to want in a partner. I felt something cold settle into my chest. I kept my voice steady. Okay, and? Her eyes dropped to her hands. The silence stretched long enough to snap bones. He's doing really well. He came back to town a millionaire. Investments, businesses, everything. I let her talk. Something told me she was going somewhere with this, somewhere I wasn't going to like. I ran into him yesterday. It was, unexpected. Unexpected, sure. And? She breathed out, shaky. He told me he never stopped thinking about me. A faint ringing started in my ears, but I didn't interrupt. I could feel the trap tightening. Not around me, around her. She just didn't see it yet. He wants to take me out, just to talk, for closure. And I realized something. She finally looked at me then, really looked at me. Her eyes were full of confusion, guilt, longing, something I couldn't quite define. I think we married too young, Dan. There it was, the sentence that snapped our marriage in half. My reaction wasn't dramatic. I didn't scream, didn't throw anything, didn't plead. I just nodded, slowly, deliberately. Okay. She looked startled, almost offended at how calm I was. Okay? That's it? I stood up, walked to the kitchen counter, and poured myself a glass of water just to have something to hold. My hands were steady. My heartbeat wasn't. You're telling me you want out. I'm not going to trap you here. Her breath hitched. She wasn't prepared for that answer. She expected a fight, tears, anything that would make her feel desired or torn between two worlds. Instead, I handed her exactly what she thought she wanted. What do you want to do? I asked. She pressed her fingers to her temples. I don't know. I just need time. Time. Right. But I saw it then. Buried beneath all the confusion, guilt, and nostalgia was excitement. A spark she didn't try to hide. I knew what was coming before she even decided it. Over the next week, she grew more distant, more secretive. Late night texts she put her phone face down for, soft smiles at messages she'd never share with me. Longer showers, new perfume, a sudden obsession with how she looked leaving the house. Her betrayal wasn't loud, it was quiet. It was in the way she avoided eye contact when I asked how her day was, in the way she flinched when I touched her back, in the way she started sleeping facing the wall. Then one night, after a week of silent mourning on my part, she came home late, smelling like citrus cologne. That definitely wasn't mine. Dan, can we talk? Her voice trembled, but her eyes were resolved. I think, I think I want a divorce. I didn't blink, didn't flinch, didn't make her life harder. Okay, I repeated. Her lips parted. You're not even going to ask why? No need. Because I already knew. I signed the papers the next morning. Quietly, efficiently, without hesitation. She signed them with a shaking hand. She cried afterward. I didn't. The weeks after the divorce passed strangely. I didn't block her number, didn't lash out, didn't gossip. I simply let her drift away, with her choices pulling her further each day. She moved into an apartment downtown, nicer than her salary could explain, but I didn't comment. Our mutual friends kept me informed whether I wanted to be or not. She's with him now. They're posting pictures. He bought her a new car. She looks happy, at least for now. For now. I focused on rebuilding my life quietly. Gym, work, new routines, peace. But even in peace, I kept observing, watching from afar, not out of longing, but out of awareness. Something about it didn't sit right. Ethan's wealth was sudden, flashy, convenient. His lifestyle didn't match any legitimate business I could verify. I looked into him, carefully without obsession, just enough to see patterns. Too much money too quickly, no paper trail, lavish spending, associates who looked more like shadows than friends. So I waited, patiently. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need karma. I didn't need to ruin her happiness. All I needed was time. Time reveals everything. The cracks in their golden relationship began to appear within 2 months. The arguments, the unexplained disappearances, the late-night shouting neighbors overheard, her sudden social media silence, the way her bright smile dimmed in every candid photo, and the rumors. Rumors about him, about investors asking questions, about audits, about missing funds. Rumors that grew louder, sharper, more credible. Then exactly 6 months after I signed the divorce papers, almost to the day, I woke up to my phone vibrating nonstop. At first I ignored it, but when the calls turned to frantic messages, I finally picked it up. It was Melissa. Her texts were shaking so hard I could practically feel the panic through the screen. Dan, please pick up. Please, I need you. They arrested him. Please, I don't know what to do. My breath stilled. The trap had closed. Not set by me, not maintained by me, but one she built with her own choices, her own desires, her own impulsive belief that wealth equals security. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then the phone rang again. Her name lit up the screen, desperate, pleading, and for the first time since the day she said, "We married too young." I smiled, but I didn't answer. Not yet. This time she would wait. This time I would speak on my terms. And when I did, she would finally understand everything she never saw coming. When Melissa's name kept flashing across my screen, vibrating with desperation like a heartbeat on life support, I finally picked up the phone. Not because I wanted to comfort her, but because I wanted to witness what she had become. Her voice cracked the moment the line connected. Dan, oh my God, Dan, please. Thank you for picking up. I didn't know who else to call. I didn't respond immediately. I wanted her to hear the silence she had carved into me. She sniffed sharply. I could hear she was outside, cars rushing past, her breath shaking like she'd been running. They took him. They arrested Ethan right in front of me. FBI, police, all of them. They pushed me aside. They wouldn't let me talk to him. Her voice broke. They said it was federal fraud, that he scammed investors, that the money wasn't real. They searched the apartment, the one he paid for, the one she happily moved into 6 months ago. I finally spoke, slow and level. What do you need from me, Melissa? She exhaled shakily. swallowing back a sob. I don't have access to any of my accounts. He had everything tied together. I don't even know if the money in my purse is mine or his or if the police will take it as evidence. They said I might need a lawyer. They said I might be involved. The word involved landed like a stone. And are you? I asked calmly. No, God, no. I didn't know anything, she cried. Dan, please, you know me. You know I'm not like that. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling, letting her desperation wash over the line. You knew enough to leave your marriage for him, I said softly. Then a small, choked whisper. Dan, please don't do this. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't gloating. Everything in me felt steady, controlled, certain. What do you want me to do, Melissa? I asked again. I need help, just for now. Just until I figure things out. I don't have anyone else. Her voice cracked. Please, please don't leave me alone. The irony stung sharp and clean. 6 months ago, she had been thrilled to leave me behind. Enthralled by a man who promised diamonds and foreign vacations. Now she was begging not to be left alone. What about your millionaire? I asked. She whimpered. He's gone. They took him. I don't even know if he'll ever get out. And your friends? I asked. She hesitated. They're embarrassed to be seen with me. They think I knew. They think I was part of it. They think you were part of it, not far off from reality. I rubbed my forehead. Melissa, listen carefully. I'm not going to abandon you in the street, but I won't be dragged into legal messes either. I don't want that, she said quickly. I just need somewhere to stay tonight. I don't have money. I don't have keys. I don't have anything. A long beat of silence passed, and then I made a decision. Cold, calculated, final. Meet me at Riverside Park, by the benches near the fountain. She breathed out in relief. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I grabbed my coat, locked my door, and drove. The night air hit me with the kind of clarity I hadn't felt in a long time. The city lights shimmered against the river, reflecting back a version of myself I didn't recognize. A man who had survived betrayal without losing his soul. She was already there when I arrived, hugging her arms tightly, eyes swollen, makeup streaked. She looked nothing like the radiant woman who once walked away from me with confidence in her new life. She looked small. Dan, she whispered, stepping closer. I'm so sorry for everything. I should never have. Stop, I said quietly. We're not digging up the past. She nodded rapidly, tears spilling down her cheeks. I need to understand what's happening. They told me Ethan's been under investigation for months, that the money was stolen from investors, that he laundered money through shell companies. They said he used me as leverage, made it look like I was involved in transactions I didn't even know existed. Her hands trembled violently. They said I might be questioned. They said I might be charged. I stayed calm, steady, focused. Melissa, look me in the eye, I said. She lifted her tear-filled gaze. Did you sign anything for him? Her lips quivered. He said it was paperwork for a rental agreement. I didn't read it. I trusted him. Did you give him access to any of your accounts? Yes. Did you let him use your ID, your address, your name for any business filings? She covered her mouth. Yes, oh God, yes. I thought it was normal for couples to share things. I nodded, and her fear grew. Dan, am I in trouble? She whispered. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. A message from my friend Mark, a detective. You were right. The girl is clean. He used her info without her knowing. She's a witness, not a suspect. I exhaled quietly, but Melissa watched my expression change, panic rising again. What? What is it? Please don't hide anything from me. You're not going to be arrested, I said. She broke down in sobs of relief. But, I added, your old life is gone. His money is gone. Your apartment is evidence. Anything he bought for you is evidence. You're starting from zero. She stared at me like I just told her she had no gravity left under her feet. I can't go back to my family, she whispered. They warned me about him. They'll say they told me so. They'll never let me hear the end of it. And my friends, they already turned on me. She stepped closer, voice trembling. I know I don't deserve anything from you, but please, please don't leave me alone tonight. I looked at her, really looked at her, the woman who betrayed me, the woman who let nostalgia and greed blind her, the woman who had once said, we married too young. But I also remembered the woman I had loved, the woman who used to dance in the kitchen with bare feet, the woman who cried when we adopted our dog, the woman who whispered she wanted forever. People aren't black and white, they're choices, and Melissa had made hers. But I wasn't about to let bitterness turn me into someone unrecognizable. I'll get you a hotel room, I said. For a week, enough time to find a job, talk to your family, rebuild. She stared at me, stunned. A week? Damn, why would you do that for me? I shrugged lightly. Because I'm not him. Her eyes filled again. I never deserved you. I was stupid. I was blind. And I lost everything because of it. I nodded. Yes, you did. She flinched at the truth. I didn't sugarcoat it. Not anymore. Later, when I drove her to the hotel, she watched me with a kind of fragile devotion. Something that felt less like love and more like regret, wearing a mask. At the hotel room door, she hesitated. Dan, can I ask you something? Ask. If I hadn't left, if I hadn't been so stupid, do you think we would have made it? I looked at her, the ghost of the life we had, the shell of the woman I once knew. We did make it, I said softly, until you decided you wanted something else. She swallowed hard. And now? Now, I said, we go our separate ways. Her breath caught. But can we still talk? Maybe rebuild something someday? I don't expect you to take me back. I just don't want this to be the end. I shook my head gently. It ended 6 months ago, Melissa. You just didn't realize it. A tear slid down her cheek. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know. She stepped inside the hotel room, still looking at me with a fragile, lingering hope that I refused to nurture. Goodbye, Melissa, I said, her voice cracked. Goodbye, Dan. I walked away without looking back, not because I didn't care, but because I finally did. And for once, I was choosing myself.